Okay, good day everyone. So, for today, it is our week 5. So, kung matatandaan nyo, no, it is examination week, but then again, we need to cover up the week for that examination, and we need to tackle this topic because if we're not going to tackle this topic, malilate tayo sa ating mga uh, lessons, no? So for today, we're going to tackle the International Convention of on Load Line in 1996 and this article of 10 to 16, which is the detailed responsibilities of the master and the crew. So for our objectives and sources, we are going to provide a comprehensive and operational focus by the analysis of Articles 10 to 16, Load Line Convention of 1996, as amended, and also emphasize day-to-day responsibilities of the master and crew, procedures, record keeping, and the port state control interactions, including the checklist, sample logs, entries, templates, and the classroom exercises. So, kung matatandaan niyo 'no, these articles are very important because they define the responsibilities of the master and the crew. So when it comes to maintaining the load line compliance, record keeping, surveys also, and ensuring the ship remains safe and seaworthy. So again, last previous topic 'no, yung sa port state control 'no, and with that kailangan nating ma-maintain yung seaworthiness of the vessel and on this topic, malalaman natin kung ano ba yung process and procedures sa maintaining the seaworthy of the vessel and also how to ship keep remains safely. So as a future officers, it's not enough for us to know where the load line is painted on the ship, no? Hindi lang yung kung paano natin malalaman kung ano ba yung load line limit, yung pagkaka-paint nito sa vessel, but also we're going to must understand the legal and the operational responsibilities beyond those painted, no? Beyond those paint. Kailangan malaman natin how we are going to operate and what is the legal basis. So for non-compliance, yung mga hindi pagsunod can also result in a port state control detention, yung mga nabanggit natin nung nakaraan, if it's either made-detain, magkakaroon ng penalty, or even having a risking lives at sea. So in this session, we're going to explore each article. So yung sinabi kong article 10 to 16 in the detail and translate into legal wording into a practical responsibilities for the master and also for the crew. And we're going to discuss the real world implications by the end of this. You should not only know the law but also how to apply it when you're on board the vessel. So, mga future officers, our goal for today is to understand the Load Lines Convention, which is the Article 10 to 16. And wag kayong mag-alala, we won't just read the law. We are going to translate the, into what you as cadets and later as officers actually do on board, no? So ito yung kailangan nating i-focus. So first, the daily responsibilities, kung paano chine-check ng master at crew ang ship condition, the load line marks, at yung stability ng vessel. Then next, we have the procedures and records, kung paano sinusulat sa logbook, ano yung forms na dapat i-filled up, at paano tayo naghahanda sa inspection. Then number three is the port state control. Kapag pumasok yung inspector, ano ang mga usually na tinitingnan at paano dapat sumagot sa mga port state control. And we are going also to use the checklist, sample logbook entries, and short exercises para mas madali yung makonect yung real ship life. No? So by the end of this lesson, you should be able to explain in your own words that what the master and crew must do under these articles and know what to do if there's something wrong, and if the load line is submerged or the hatch cover is damaged, and you're going to write down the correct logbook entry or para kung covered ba yung tinatanong ng inspector, kung covered ba yung mga nakitang mali, no? Then para mas So, para mas maka-relate kayo 'no, sa mga bawat, slides na papakita natin, ano yung dapat niyong gawin 'no, as an OIC or the operational in charge or a master, ano yung gagawin ko? For example, ano yung gagawin ko sa sitwasyon na 'to? So, yan yung mindset niyo habang dini-discuss natin each articles. So, class, let's start with the basics. Why do we even have load lines? So the load line mark, or what we often call the Flintstone line, it is the circle line that the true painted on the ship side. No? Makita niyo yan sa ating mga vessel, and sa ating seamanship laboratory meron tayo niyan. And it is not just a decoration sa barko, no? It tells us the maximum safe limit up to which ship can be loaded. Makita natin do'n kung gaano yung kayang, i-load ng isang vessel and ano yung limitation ng isang vessel. So, bakit importante 'to? Kasi kung lulubog ang mark na yon ay kung lulubog yung mark na yon sa tubig, ibig sabihin overloaded na ang barko. So that reduces the reserve buoyancy at nakakaapekto sa stability ng vessel. So it simply, in a simple terms, mas mataas ang chance na mag-capsize o lumubog yung barko. The more na mas lubog yung ating vessel, no? Or kasi kapag lumubog yung mark na yun sa tubig, ibig sabihin overloaded na yung barko natin. So, the more na mas lubog yung line, yung mark na yun sa tubig, which is nakapaint yun sa barko, mas malaki yung tsansa na mag-capsize yung vessel natin or lumubog yung barko natin. So, the idea nag-start yung idea nitong Plimsoll mark or the load lines noong 19th century pa. So, nagpauso niyan si Samuel Plimsoll, no? Samuel and Plimsoll, Plimsoll. So he is a British politician who fought against the ship owners na sa pagsasakripisyo ng safety, ah, kapalit ng profit 'no. Kasi minsan, nakikita natin na mas mataas yung mga ship owners kasi mas iniisip yung kikitain 'no. So, pero kay Samuel mas inisip niya yung safety. So, na-formulate niya load line mark. So, that's why ipinangalan yung mark na yon sa kanya 'no. So, Plimsoll line. So ngayon, it is fully part of the International Convention on Load Lines in 1966, in which dun din niya yun na-discover and ah, ginamit on board 'no. So sino ba yung nag-enforce nito? So nag-enforce nito si Flag State Surveyors, sila yung nag-i-issue ng load line certificate, and each vessel na naglalayag sa ocean going is kailangan meron kayong load line certificate. So si Port State Control naman, sila yung, biglang sumasakay sa barko para tingnan kung sumusunod tayo sa Flag State Surveyor, 'no, kung meron tayong, load line certificate, which is na-discuss na natin si role ng Port State Control sa last week nating discussion. So tandaan niyo, load line is like the safety belt of the ship, 'no? Ayun yung pinaka-belt limit niya na kapag nilabag at hindi lang sa barko ang delikado, kundi buhay ng crew, buhay din ng cargo, or yung environment 'no. Siyempre yung laman ng cargo na yun or yung buhay ng cargo na yun dun nakasalalay yung ano natin 'no, kaya tayo nasa barko kasi we're going to transport the cargos from one place to another. Kaya nga tinawag na merchant vessels yung ating mga, transporter of goods. Now we know why the load line matters, so let's now look the heart of today's lesson. So the articles 10 to 16, load line convention. So these articles give us the specific responsibilities of the master and crew when it comes to surveys, certificate, and keeping the safe ship and quickly. And here's the quick overview. No? So for the first one, we have the Article 10, which is the repairs, alterations, and modification. So ano ba yung napapaloob sa Article 10? So if the ship is changed or damaged, nagkaroon or may pinalitan sa barko or nagkaroon ng damage, the master must report it and surveys may required. Kailangan i-report ni master to at magkakaroon ng survey kung kailangan i-survey kasi depending kung ano yung pinalitan, ano yung minodify or ano yung na-damage. So for Article 11, zones and areas. So under Article 11, load lines are not the same anywhere. So ships may adjust drops depending on the seasonal zones. So like tropical waters or winter North Atlantic. Depending kasi syempre each zones, kada lugar magkakaiba yan, no? For example, dito sa Asian, syempre more on tropic climate tayo. Pagdating naman dun sa more on Europe, magkakaroon ng winter or North Atlantic. Kaya nagbabago din yung lalim ng ating mark. So, zones and areas on Article 11. Article 12, submersion of load line marks. So, this is a big no? Kasi the master and crew must make sure that the load line is always visible above the water. Sabi nga natin, the more na mas lubog yung line, the more na may possibility na capsize yung ating vessel. So, for Article 13, we have the survey, inspection, and marking. So for the surveys, confirm that the shift structures, fittings, and markings are correct. Kasi baka mamaya, meron nga tayong load line mark, tapos hindi naman siya correctly painted, mali yung pagkakasulat, hindi siya tama yung pagkaka-paint, no? Mali yung pagkakasulat, mali rin pagkakasukat. So dapat it is correctly uh, fitted and correctly markings. Then Article 14, the initial and periodical surveys. So the ship must undergo surveys when the ship is built. For example, nasa ano siya, nasa Hanjin, no? Yung mga nasa Hanjin. So before the ships must undergo surveys before the ship was going to seagoing. No? Bago siya ilabas sa isang yard, no, dapat mag-undergo siya ng survey and regularly after the first voyage para compliant siya. No, na susunod pa rin siya sa law natin. Then Article 15, maintenance of conditions after survey. So after passing the survey, syempre isa-survey yan ng PSC, Port State Control, then nakapasa, sabihin na natin nakapasa. So the crew must maintain the same safe condition and no shortcuts. So the way na kung paano siya na-release sa shipyard na parang brand new, so dapat gano'n din yung condition ng isang vessel, parang brand new pa rin siya. Sir, parang imposible naman yung kasi nung time na yun kakalabas lang, eh, ngayon nagamit na yung barko. So dapat yung standing condition ng vessel is the same as new pa rin siya, same as brand new. Gano'n po yung nire-require ni PSC kapag nagsu-survey siya 'no, ni Port State Control. So, under Article 16, issue of certificate. So, the load line certificate are issued to prove the compliance. Do'n pa lang lalabas yung compliant kapag umabot tayo ng Article 16. So, imagine from Article 10, once na umabot tayo ng Article 16, do'n pa lang tayo i-issuehan to prove the compliance and the Port State Control will always check at least hindi porket compliant na yung vessel mo this year, next year hindi ka na-inspeksyonan 'no, depende kung ano yung nakita nila na damage or nakita nila na kailangang ma-rectify sa vessel niyo, kailangan nila i-check yun by next year, iche-check nila yung vessel niyo. So in short, the Article 10 to 16, the master's rule book 'no, rule book yung tawag diyan. So to keep the ship legally loadable 'no, puwede siyang kargahan and seaworthy, puwede siyang patakbuhin sa dagat. So now, later we're going to dive into each article and detail with examples of the log entries para mas maintindihan natin. Also the checklist. So next first we have the Article 10, which is the scope and the purpose. So the Article 10 deals with the repairs and alterations to the ship. No, the rule is simple. If any repair or modification affects the ship's safety, it must be checked again through a survey. No, magkakaroon ng survey. Sino yung magsa-survey? Si Port State Control. Hindi pwede na kayo yung nasa barko yung magsu-survey sa vessel niyo. It must be another party 'no, hindi, third party, hindi pwede kayo yung magsu-survey. So, all of this can affect the freeboard 'no. For example, meron tayong, example 'no, if you added a new deck house or if the hull plating is damaged and repaired, then the watertight bulkheads are altered. So all of this can affect the freeboard, so the distance from the water line to the deck and the watertight integrity of the vessel. Bakit ba importante 'yon? Because all small change can make ship sit lower to the water. So compromise during heavy weathers. Magbigay tayo ng mas anong example 'no. So imagine 'no sa isang jeep 'no, normally ang safe na sumakay sa loob ng isang jeep ay 15 passenger. But the driver, nagdagdag pa siya ng 5 para maging 20 yung isang jeep 'no. So on the top of that, ah, kahit na kasya pa ng, yung 20 sa isang jeep 'no, pero ang bigat ng ah, bigat na kaya ikarga ng isang jeep ay 15 lang 'no, tendency puwede masira yung gulong niya 'no, or maging mahirap tumakbo sa isang makina ng isang, jeepney. So gano'n din sa barko 'no, that's exactly why ships need a rechecking kasi puwedeng ma-modify or magkaroon ng extra weight changes can make, effect on the safety of the crew and the, ah, structure of the vessel. Baka mamaya eto lang required weight na puwedeng dalhin ng isang vessel tapos tayo para magkaroon ng malaking kita yung isang vessel or it depends upon the master. Kaya nga sinasabi responsibility of the master kasi baka mamaya merong malaking kita si master diyan, is ilalagay niya lahat ng weight para lang magkaroon ng shipment and baka mamaya hindi rin alam ng ship owner yon. So with that is magkakaroon ng, damage yung isang vessel or magkakaroon ng, hindi magandang pangyayari. So again, our aim is to ensure that the change could be altered and assigned freeboard is reviewed and surveyed. So si PSC ngayon siya yung papasok para makita niya na if the vessel is, following the right weight and the rule pagdating sa ating, load line. Then pagdating naman sa ating Article 10, master's legal duties, which is the operational, ano ba yung dapat gawin ni master? For the master legal duties 'no, so when the ship is repaired and modified, first, don't sail yet. Now, if the repairs affect the ship's freeboard or watertight safely, the master cannot let the vessel to go on international voyage until it is checked and approved. Bawal, mag-sail yung isang vessel hangga't hindi pa siya na-che-check and na-approve ng isang authority. Like for example, the, Port State Control. And you should report it right away. Dapat i-report ni master. Inform the company or the owner ng vessel or the flag state kung saan naka-registered yung vessel nyo or any recognized organization. Tandaan nyo, ang dami pwedeng ipag-reportan, no? Si company, si owner, flag state, recognized organization, or the flag state, yung sabi ko kanina, para makalimutan, ang daming pwedeng ipag-report ni master at dapat hindi niya makalimutan yon. Kasi kahit isa man lang dun dapat makapag-report siya. And hindi rason yung makakalimutan niya mag-report kasi ang dami niyang puwedeng tawagan pagdating sa isang, repair na puwede niyang gawin sa isang vessel niya sa kanyang vessel 'no. For example, si flag state dun ka naka-registered, mag-report ka 'no. Kasi once na ini-report mo yon. Ang nangyayari kasi, yung ibang master is ayaw nilang i-report. Bakit? Kasi siyempre, kapag merong mali sa barko mo, negligence mo 'yan. Master ka, eh, bakit hindi mo na-check agad 'yan? Kaya ibang master, ginagawa nila, hindi nila nire-report kung ano yung mali sa barko nila dahil parang nagre-reflect 'yun sa kanilang, administration sa barko. So, ang mangyayari hinihintay niya na makababa na lang siya para walang maganda yung or malinis yung pangalan niya, yung reputation niya sa barko. para walang pangit siyang nakita 'no, or walang pangit na nangyari during his contract on board. So ngayon yung mga bago sasampa na yung papalit sa kanya mapapansin yun tapos magkakaroon ng inspection, tendency mas mapapasama yung pumalit. So ngayon, ikaw na pumalit na hindi mo na kadarating mo lang 'no, wala kang idea ano yung nangyari, madahil ikaw pa yung parang may kasalanan sa mga, damages na nangyari sa barko. So, as a future masters 'no, wag niyong gagawin yun kasi, one rule of a thumb sa pagiging master is dapat you are responsible. Kaya nga nandiyan ka sa position na yan is, you are capable to handle your vessel. And in order for us to handle it correctly, kailangan aware ka at dapat nire-report mo anong puwedeng mangyari kasi ayun yung kinakatakot ng iba na baka ma-bad shot sila sa company. Pero the right thing to do is to check regularly and report kasi imposibleng wala kayong makikita sa sobrang laki ng vessel na yan. Dapat meron kayong makitang irregularity sa vessel. Then, for the crew duties, ano yung dapat gawin ni crew and practical steps ni crew member sa ating Article 10. So, under the Article 10, no, the crew supports the master. Siyempre, hindi yan kakayanin ni master alone. So, in keeping the ship safe and repairs or alteration, their duties are straightforward but also very important. No? Hindi porket crew ka lang sa barko at siya si master, ala ka ng ambag sa barko. So first, protect the load line marks. Make sure that the marks are maintained clear and visible during cleaning and painting or repairs. Baka mamaya is corroded na or hindi na mabasa yung load line marks, dapat it is properly painted and properly marked. So assist also the surveyors, provide access, bigyan nyo ng lightning, bigyan ng manpower during the inspection. And also be ready to open hatches or test watertight doors when it is being asked by the inspector. And also make a temporary closures. Only carry out emergency welding or patching if it is authorized by the company or the surveyor. Then, lastly, documentation. Kailangan ng documentation. Record any repair, assistance, and inspection or temporary measures in the logbook as instructed. Mahalaga yung documentation na yan. So, first, protect the load line marks. Second, assist the surveyors. Third, temporary closures. And then fourth, documentation. So ano ba yung checklist ni crew for practical steps? Mag-jot down kayo, kasi hindi ko nilalagay talaga diyan para makakita natin kasi yung nakikinig. So first, we need to keep the load line marks visible. This is the crew checklist and practical step. Then next, support surveyor inspections. Third, follow instructions for emergency repairs. And then fourth, document actions in logbook. So apat po yan, ayun yung sinabi ko kanina, no? So next we have the Article 11, the zones and seasonal marks. So for the overview, Article 11 tells us the ships does not or don't use the same load line everywhere. Kasi magkakaiba yan, no? Depending, sabi ko nga kung ano yung, kung saan kayo zone mapupunta, no? Because every sea changes with seasons and zones. So a ship come tropical waters can load more while the other rough winter seas, the same ship must load less to stay safe. So that's why we have a different load line, no? Load line marks and painted on the ship side. Makikita niyo yan sa ship sides on every vessel. So they look like small lines with letters. So for example, yung TF stands for tropical freshwater. For the F, freshwater. For the T, tropical. For the S, summer. And for the W, winter. And for the WNA means the winter North Atlantic. So it is most likely restricted to. So the master's duty is to know which mark applies based on where the ship is trading and what in the season. So kung kayo ay nasa Europe, sabihin na natin nasa winter side kayo and dapat si master alam niya kung anong mark yung gagamitin nyo and ano ba yung applicable on that mark. Kasi baka mamaya kahit na malamig sa Europe, but that time is summer season, So, dapat yung summer load line yung gagamitin niyo. So, for the quick, checklist 'no, for the masters, you need to focus on the first identify 'no, masters focus 'to 'no. Yung kanina yung sa crew, ngayon sa master. First, identify which you're going to trading zone para malaman niyo kung saan kayo pupunta. Then next, i-check niyo kung anong season ba, kung summer ba or winter. Then next, apply the correct load line mark. Again, first, saan zone pupunta? Sa Europe, okey, Europe. Then, ano ba yung season sa Europe, summer ba or winter? Okey, for example, summer. So, lagay niyo summer. Then, after that, kailangan na nating i-apply kung ano yung correct load line mark. So, summer load line lalagay natin. Then lastly, never exceed on that mark. Kung ayun lang yung mark na yun, huwag kayong mag-e-exceed 'no. Then next, we have the master's responsibilities. So, as a master, you cannot just load the ship 'no, without checking where the ship is going to sail. So, different seas and different season have a different rules on how much the ship can safely carry. So, before loading, the master must verify which zone and season apply. Sabi ko nga kanina, yung apat na steps na kailangan nyong i-check. So, if the voyage passes through winter North Atlantic or WNA or rough seas, the master must load less cargo to keep the ship safe. So if the condition change like leaving summer waters and entering into winter, kung galing kayo sa isang summer season then mapupunta kayo sa isang winter season, syempre hindi naman stationary yung vessel 'no, umaandar 'yan. So the master may need to adjust the voyage plan so that the ship stays within the safe drop limits. So dapat si master aware siya sa changes of zones and changes of the seasons. So the master checklist before loading, magsulat kayo ba? So first, check the zone and season on the charts or publication. Then confirm with the agents or cargo interest which the mark to use, ano yung gagamitin nyo, kung anong klaseng mark siya. Then next, allow extra safety margins. Kasi just in case merong WNA, yung sinasabi natin kanina na winter North Atlantic. So para meron kayo allowance. Then last, amend voyage plan if seasonal restriction. Again, check the zone and season on charts, publication. Next, confirm with the agents and cargo interest, which is marked to use. And next, allow safety margin for WNA. Then amend voyage plan if seasonal restrictions apply. So for our crew actions, ayun yung action ni Master. On the crew sides naman, ano ba yung action ni crew member? So si crew member must ensure the ballasting and the trimming follows by the master and instructions to meet the assigned freeboard. Then you should take accurate soundings and maintain tank records to demonstrate compliance. And lastly, the crew member must assist in moving cargo and post-loading adjustment to correct the minor submersion issues. So that is our first half for our week 5, no? You can take 10 to 15 minutes, no? Then be back and continue tayo sa ating second half of our discussion. Sige, break muna po tayo, guys.